and they said, they were like, so Cliff and Nicole came up to me after the blow up in the kitchen, and they said, "We believe you. You're staying." And they said, "We're just going to go tell Holly and Jackson what we're doing." Then cut to the bathroom. They're telling them, "We're voting you out, Holly." Another blow up happens in the bathroom, and at this point, the producers are coming on in the house and saying, "Go sit down. It's time for the live eviction. You have to go sit down." We're not listening. We're still fighting in the bathroom. And I thought in this moment, they told me I was staying. So people come up to me on the street when I see people, and they're like, "Why didn't you fight harder?" I didn't fight because I thought I was staying already. I thought it was a done deal. They had just come up to me 10 minutes before and said, "Congratulations, we're keeping you. We're going to the end with you." And so when they went into the bathroom to fight, I didn't get involved because I didn't think I needed to. I thought, all right, well, I'm going to stay out of this. This isn't my thing now. So I went in there and I did say my piece. But, of course I regret not fighting more, because Nicole revealed to me that ultimately that's what threw her off, that I wasn't fighting more. And I explained to her, I said I didn't fight more because I thought I was being kept already. I didn't think I needed to fight anymore. I thought it was done. And it was Cliff that said to her, she said, "I don't know what to do anymore." And he said, and she said, "What does your gut say?" to Cliff. And he said, "Let's vote Tommy out." And I think it was so many layers, but I think a big thing was that Cliff and I were always threatened by each other in the game. And I love him to death. I'm obsessed with Cliff. I love every single person. There's not one person that I don't love that from that experience. But I do think that had a big part of why what led to my demise.
Well, let me just backtrack, because I think the Christie secret and finally telling you Holly and Mickey was definitely like the boulder that started everything. Or do you think it was the level 6, or when it was the 6 blowing up, the 6 shooters blowing up when Sam left?
On day 44? I don't know. What's the question again? Say it one more time.
I'm sorry about that. Thanks. Do you think either day 44, where the infamous 6 shooters Civil War started, or when you revealed to Jackson and Holly that you're related to Christie, were these? Which was the event that started your downfall? Do you think?
I would say probably Jackson and Holly winning HOH over and over again was probably the start to my demise. But listen, I was always good with them in the game. There's a reason why, they picked off all of my allies one by one, but there's a reason why they saved me for last. Because I really was loyal to them to an extent. No, that's a lie. The truth is I was loyal to Holly, but Jackson, I was very afraid of him game-wise. Had I gotten the chance, I would have taken the shot at Jackson weeks prior, but I just couldn't win.
And here's the thing: when it came to time for jury, I think because we've all saw what happened with Paul twice and what happened to Tyler we saw how big of a play how people are still mad at. Like, I am still mad at Davon and Natalie and Paulie and Jason and Elena and Mark and Alex, and especially Cody Nixon. Sorry, I don't like him at all because of his anti-LGBT stance. But I'm still mad at them for what they did to Paul. So how is it? But however, despite how polarizing Jackson was, you guys got it. You guys nailed it and got the correct decision.
Yeah, because I think that it's funny. I was just hanging out with Paul actually, like last week. Me, Nicole, and Paul hung out, and we talked about this. I think that it was, him not winning was the setup for Jackson's win this season. There's so many big fans of the show in the house this season, and we couldn't let that happen again. So we learned from those people's mistakes. I see it as, maybe it's not fair for me to say mistakes, but excuse me, but I think that we took note of how America reacted, how the fans of the show reacted to the jury voting for who they like better versus who they think played the better game, or and we didn't want to do that. No matter what, that's something that we in the jury would always talk about. We would always talk about that.
Do you think with Survivor, because here's the thing with Survivor, as you know, Survivor has increased it to a final 3 and have made it a larger jury.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think if, let's just say, Kemi, Ovi, Sam, Bella, and David made it into the final, do you think, and Nicole made it to the final 3, do you think the tide would have been turned in her direction if she made final?
Confused. Like if Nicole was in the final 3 with Jackson and Holly, and the other people were voting as well, is that what you said? Got it. I don't know. It's really hard to say. You know, part of me, I know that America roots for the underdog. I am one of those people. When I watch the show, you root for the underdog. So I was rooting for Nicole or Cliff. And I really meant it when I said I would have taken third place to either one of them, happily. I would not have turned my back on them. And I've told that to them, and I'll say that over and over again, because I believe in the integrity of this show so much. I would have liked an underdog to win. However, I think that the power of my vote is so important. I would have voted for whoever I thought played the best game. If Nicole would have made a kick-ass speech, then she could have potentially got my vote. But I'll be honest, it would have been difficult because Jackson's game was that good. He not only – and it's funny because I don't even think his game was a secret. I saw it all along. It was pretty right out in the open as far as I'm concerned, but it doesn't make it any less amazing. But he not only was a physical competitor, I'm pretty sure he won the most competitions out of any Big Brother contestant ever. Won the most competitions literally ever in a single season.
I think he definitely tied – a lot of fans said that he even tied Casey and Janelle.
I'm pretty sure he has the most wins out of any single any competitor in a single season. The other ones Casey won a lot of vetoes, but she didn't win as many HOHs. He had so many wins. I think he had like 10 or 12 wins. He had double digits. It was insane. I think Victor held the record before Jackson, but Jackson I think took the lead this season. He beat Victor in the end. That's very impressive in itself. Then you have his social game. He got me out. He got Christy out. The fact that Nicole took the shot at me and Christy, I think, look, I love Nicole so much, and I do think she's an amazing player, and I don't want to take that away from her, but I don't agree. If I was her, I wouldn't have taken the shot at me and Christy. Yes, there were 3 duos left in the house. She obviously wouldn't have gone for Cliff, but I would not have gone for me and Christy because Christy crumbles under pressure. Christy never even came close to winning a competition when her life depended on it. Jackson thrives under pressure. Jackson won every single competition when his life depended on it. That alone, to me, is enough to go after that couple. So I feel like he somehow convinced her that it was a good idea to go after me and Christy. The fact that he did that, I think, is incredible. It would have been very hard for me to vote for anyone besides him in the final 2, 3, 4, 5, 16, whatever. He was that good, I think. And listen, you want to root for the underdog. I get it. Jackson was not the underdog. He's not. He won so many competitions. He's the jock. I get it. But I believe in this game too much to compromise the integrity of the game. I think that the power of my vote is crucial, and of every single one of our votes. I have to put this on pause for a second because my computer's going to die. So I'm just going to go grab my charger really quick.
All right, and I'll entertain the crowd. So while you do that, so okay, guys, while Tommy's getting in, I think it's I believe that this is probably one of my favorite interviews so far. So if you can hear this, Tommy, this is definitely really great insight. I never expected this to happen when it came to all of this, with all this stuff. And I truly respect what happened with the Big Brother 21. voting. And I agreed, like, after what happened with Tyler and what happened to Paul twice, I definitely agree that this, despite how polarizing Jackson was to a lot of fans, you guys made the right decision.
I think so too. I stand by it. I'm really proud of it. I'm proud of our jury. I'm proud of our season. I really am. I think that we voted for the best gamer. I think Holly had a great game. The fact is, Holly and I were actually playing very similar games. There's a reason why the two of us were the ones that hadn't gotten put on the block until very late in the game. We were playing very similar games. We were hiding behind a bigger competitor, and we were good with everyone. We were very level-headed. We won competitions also. Holly and I were playing very similar games, so therefore I have to, I have to give her credit and say that she played an amazing game because it was the same game that I was trying to play. But it's funny because, I mentioned earlier that Cliff, he and I were playing some similar games, and we felt, I think, threatened by each other. But I never felt that with Holly. Holly and I were always on the same page. We were always good. And there was this one conversation that happened on the day that I got evicted in the bathroom with Holly, and it was one of the most powerful moments for me in the house. And it's nowhere to be found. It's just not recorded. Maybe it's recorded and hidden somewhere in the Big Brother abyss, but man, it was lots of tears, more tears than I had than on the show that people saw. I was bawling with Holly because Holly meant so much to me, and our relationship was just very confusing because while I trusted her, we still were on opposite sides of the game at that point, and it sucked because she's so incredible and amazing. I love her.
Alrighty, but however, for you, Cliff, and Nicole, you may have been in the bottom 3 of the top 5, but however, America thought you were top 3, were very well deserving of America's favorite house guest.
Yeah, that's amazing.
So what did that mean to you that you made it to the top 3 of that vote?
Man, it really meant the world to me. I don't even know how to put that into words. To have this dream. Oh man, I'm getting emotional. Sorry. To get to live out this dream that I've had for so long, to play this game, and then that's the real prize, honestly. And listen, I will happily take second place to Nicole. She is a beacon of light. She is a sunflower. She's everything. She really is she's incredible. She deserves that win. She deserves the world. She deserves so much more. I will happily take finalist, whatever. But it meant the world to me to even be in the running for that. It really did, especially as a member of the LGBTQ plus community. Here's the thing. Most of the people that watch Big Brother are from Middle America. And, not to say that, listen, it's much easier for LGBTQ plus people to fit in big cities. And I'm from a big city. But the audience of Big Brother is not big city audiences. It's mostly people from Middle America. And the fact that it's not only that I was in the running, it's who voted for me to be in the running. I think it shows so much about our world and how far we're coming, and how, 2019, yes, we have a lot of things that, this is a bigger conversation, of course, but we have a lot of things to overcome and things to work on as a society. But I think we're moving in the right direction. And I think that vote meant so much more to me than just, it wasn't just about me, Tommy Bracco, getting that vote. It was so much more. It meant so much more to me. It meant, I was representing the LGBTQ plus community in that moment, or this season. And to be in as a finalist in that was truly meant so much to me.
I gotta say, this Kansas boy voted for you for you and Nicole, so you made a lot of people proud.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Alrighty, so you get out of the house, you're free to roam the world, and Yeah, as a big fan of the show, you were able to meet a lot with the legendary Vegas weekend and also a lot of the alumni